we have a story on Gabby Giffords, and it is unbelievable and outrageous. There's a state senator, Frank Antenori, in Arizona, who's thinking of challenging her for her seat. Nothing wrong with that. But the way that he is doing it is fascinating. He's decided to get aggressive, and he thinks that Gabby Giffords is getting a free ride, apparently, and he has this quote among many. Quote, "She is cognizant enough to read and comprehend the debt bill and cast a vote, but her handlers don't feel the media should be given access to her. And I don't know why that is." Well, Senator, I have an answer for you. That's because she got shot in the head. That's why that is. Okay. Now, at some point, if you get into an election, are you within your rights to say, hey, I have these views, she has those views? Can she run this office better than I can? Of course, you will be opposing her. You think this is the right time to come out and go, oh, why are we not getting access to her? I want to ask her 1,000 questions. What's her deal? Come on. Even if you are like this draconian, this can't be good politics, can it? I mean, even the Republicans aren't this insane, are they?
Well, generally speaking, no. I think there's a point where you say, okay, this woman got shot in the head, as you just said. That my life today is it will be exactly the same whether Gabby Giffords is reelected or not. We do give someone a free pass. They're saying that they don't want to give someone a free pass. Once in a while in life, you give someone a free pass, and I think this is one of those occasions.
Okay, well, I will say that I don't feel as strongly about it as you guys, and I see the guy has a point, because I felt, when she came back to cast that vote, I was like, really? So we're all applauding the fact that she comes back to cast a horrible vote to cut Medicare for other sick people, but we're applauding her overcoming her horrible sickness.
See, no, I'm with Michael, because I totally agree with you on the substance of that vote, and I actually thought that it was like, I was not happy that the supporters of that bill that I totally disagree with brought her in to make that point, and I thought it was manipulative to some degree, et cetera, right? But having said that, I give her a free pass. She got shot in the head, okay? So I'm not gonna, look, there might be a time to criticize Gabby Giffords, and maybe it's in the heat of the election, 10 months from now, 9 months from now, whatever it is. But this is not the time whether I agree or disagree with her.
No. I think
that's where I stand.
If you are capable enough to vote in Congress on one of the most major pieces of legislation this year, you should be able to answer questions about it. And if you can't answer questions about it, you shouldn't be allowed to vote.
I don't think
that's a tough stance, man.
I really don't agree with that, Jimmy. And I think it is also I think illustrative of the fact that politics has changed in America in a short time. Senator Tim Johnson of South Dakota, he was elected in 2004. I guess he was elected in 2002. He had a stroke in 2006. He's a Democrat. Governor Mike Rounds, he's from South Dakota. It's a very, very Republican state. Governor Mike Rounds, a popular Republican governor in South Dakota, was going to run against Tim Johnson and presumably win because it was South Dakota. He decided not to engage when Tim Johnson had a stroke and decided to run for re-election. His speech was impaired. His faculties were impaired. Tim Johnson still, I believe, is in a wheelchair. There's a decency about what you're supposed to do here.
Yeah,
and I
think the other part of that is that there's also smart politics. Like, you don't want to seem like you're the guy beating up on the guy in the wheelchair.
That's part of the decency. That being decent is sometimes smart politics, although people don't really realize that anymore. But it's true.
And I think, like, if you're a Republican voter, are you really thinking like, yeah, it's state senator, go get her, right? Like, I don't even think that Republican voters are that vicious.
No. And we're not talking about the president. We're not talking about a governor even. We're talking about a representative, and they are all important, all 435 of them. But the point is that if she's going through a recovery. We know what her voting tendencies are. We don't need to ask Gabrielle Giffords. The people that would be interviewing Gabrielle Giffords would not be asking her about that vote.
Okay.
Right. And look, Jimmy, don't get me wrong. Of course there's going to come a time when you're right. When you say, hey, you know what? Now this is a representative. She's back to doing her job. We feel ecstatic about that. Now let's ask some questions about where she stands.
That's absolutely right. And I'm comfortable saying that I think Gabby Giffords will know when that time comes, even before you do. Like, she will recuse herself from politics at a certain point. Or engage.
I just couldn't get past the irony of here's this woman who's been horribly physically injured coming back to cast a vote that's going to cut medicine or health care for people in the future. And people were applauding it. Like, this was some kind of victory for her. It was like, And so I was like, I wanted to ask her a question immediately, and so the fact that nobody can now bugs me.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you.
But again, the people that would have asked her questions, that makes a lot of sense. The people who would have asked her questions, what do you feel for your assailant? How do you feel now, Gabby? What was it like? Do you remember?
Right.
You know,
they would have totally focused on that.
You think they're going to talk about the Medicaid vote?
Like they did, but they never knew the substance that you were talking about in that bill anyway.
Right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Okay, you guys are right.
Jimmy, I think what Michael and Cenk are trying to say is, how does it feel to be on the short end of a 2-1 decision?